All right. Says I'm live. You guys can hear me. Please let me know. We'll get this started. Sorry for being a little bit later than normal. Needed some extra sleep, so I pushed the stream back a little bit. But we should be good to go. Looking forward to the race today. I think this slate is very interesting. There's several ways you can approach this. We have some decent place differential plays that might be a little bit higher than they should be. I think we have some really good plays up front, which should offer us some pretty good leverage. We got practicing, we got qualifying, so feel pretty prepared for this. And I'm never a big fan of watching road courses, but I tend to enjoy them for DFS purposes. They have been pretty good. So Andre says loud and clear, so that means we are good to go. I do appreciate Andre always being right on top of things here. And Obi says, got to get the gel right. Yeah, for sure. Well, I use a powder, so it's a little bit different, but we got it good. And just got the haircut yesterday, so maybe it'll bring us some good luck this weekend. All right, I got to scroll up to the chat. Saw there was a lot of questions already. I do appreciate you guys waiting on me. But like I said, looking forward to Sonoma. And this is one of the more interesting slates of the year. There's several ways you can go, and I'm hoping my approach will be the right one, because I'm probably going to lean a lot on the guy starting close to the front. I mean, I said it in my preview video. I recorded that part before practicing qualifying, but I said, we're probably just going to see the fast cars starting up front for the most part. Yes, there will be a couple outliers. Like, I don't think Cindric, Blaney, Byron are going to be fringe top 30 cars, but really the best guys are already up front, like Michael McDowell, Chris Buescher, Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick. All those guys are already there. So I don't think the passing is going to be a lot this weekend. So track position is definitely going to be big. So, all right. So let me go up to the top here. I got my man, I believe that's Paper Chaser. Sunday Fun Day. Let's dominate it, boys. Let's do it. Let's do it. Coda was my best week of the year DFS-wise, and also hit the Tyler Reddick at plus 950. So that was a really good week. Hoping we can have another good road course. And road courses were good to me last year as well. So was that more luck-based than anything? I don't know. Hopefully not, but we will see. Alex says, who do we think wins? So my model has Tyler Reddick as the winner, but it is very close from the big three. I mean, I think everyone's big three is Reddick, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson. That's exactly the order I have it in. If one of those three does not win, I think Martin Truex Jr. would be my next best favorite there. I think his car looks really good this weekend. The Toyota showed up a bit. Those guys got some speed. Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, although I don't really think Denny Hamlin's going to have like a first place car or anything, but track position will help him out. But yeah, I say the big three and Martin Truex Jr. look really good this weekend. So nice to see Marty back. We know how good he is at Sonoma, but Toyota kind of took a vacation last year at the road courses, but it seems like they're back a bit. They look pretty good. What's up, Josh? I'm early. I'm guessing you'll be late. Darn right, I'll be late. That's one of the guarantees in life. I'll be late to my own live stream. Good morning, Mom. Can't watch today. I'm working, but we'll try to listen. Oh, well, I appreciate that. She says, let's go, Logano. Have a good day, everyone, and good luck. Not a big fan of Joey today, Mom, so I do apologize. Oh, I'll just have to take the week off this weekend. But he did as well last week over at Gateway, finishing, what, third? Logan says Stenos for cash. No, thank you. We're going to be passing on Ricky Stenos for cash today. Come in, Bull here with the wrench. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Yep, goes a long way, and it's just a free way to show some appreciation if you do enjoy the free content. So it does help me out quite a bit. I do have to mention, still, it's going to be ongoing forever, unless they ever take away the ability to do it. But Patreon now offers free trials, so if you guys want to check out the content with no risk to it, you don't have to pay or anything. You want to check out the content for a week, you can check it out, the projections, sim scores, all that fun stuff. I can try to drop a link in the chat. I don't know if it works. Sometimes my links don't work. But if you guys want to check out all the stuff that you ask me and I reference, I mean, you can get it for free right here for a week. So just pop the link in chat. If you like it, you can stay. If not, well, you can go. It won't hurt my feelings too much. Got a dinner from man Chris Jenkins. I cannot confirm it, but if this is the guy in Discord, he hit Almirola yesterday at the Xfinity race. I think it was 250 to 1 to win. I think won like $2,500. That was absolutely awesome. Which, again, I've been kind of watching Xfinity and trucks recently. I never used to. And honestly, the racing's not that bad. I thought Kyle Larson had it in the bag, obviously, like a 13-second lead on AJ Allmendinger. But there was a caution for somebody, and they got bunched back up, I believe. And yeah, Eric Almirola won it. I mean, Larson was right there on him. Then he kind of spun out a bit. But yeah, congrats on the AA hit. I believe that's you. I believe it is. Doug says, fade Spinhouse. Yeah, I don't really like to play Ricky at the road courses too much. Although $200 above him, Austin Dillon, I do have quite a bit of interest in today. I actually think he's not a bad sneaky play. Well, I don't know if he's going to be sneaky. I do think he will have some ownership, but I do like him as a pivot off of some of the place differential plays down there. Because like I said, track position is going to be pretty important. And I feel like I'd rather get to a guy like Austin Dillon starting at 11th, even though there's a lot of downside to it. But I think he's a better play than guys like Ryan Preece, Eric Almirola, Zane Smith, Harrison Burton, personally. So that's the route I'll be going. So, yeah, I mean, today I think there's like 3 obvious the highest owned guys today. Well, there's 2 obvious. I mean, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney. I'm assuming that's going to be the mega chalk today. They'll probably be in the low to mid 40s in ownership in like a big GPP. And then the third one, I think it's kind of close after that. I personally have it as Martin Truex Jr. At first, I thought he might be a little bit lower owned, and I was going to write him up in the tournament article, but then I was like looking at projections, sims, and everything. I'm like, well, he's actually probably going to end up being chalky. And plus, he's got good track history here, so I imagine he might be top 3, top 4 in ownership today, so I'm fine with him in cash games. Kind of sucks. I was hoping he's a little bit lower owned, but that's why we run the numbers and we adjust our stances on that. Then after that, we're probably looking at like a Kevin Harvick, William Byron, Chase Elliott for like the next group of high ownership guys. At least that's my assumption as of right now. But I think for sure it's going to be Blaney and Kyle Larson up top. What's up, Gary? Says, I think Suarez or Gibbs will win today. Who do you like the most out of Suarez, Gibbs, McDowell, or Buescher? I mean, they could both definitely win today. Do I think it's likely? No, and I actually have a bet on Suarez to win, 0.6 units, but I'm not sure he's going to have a winning car today. Top 10, sure. But I don't know if he's going to win. Projection-wise, though, for DFS purposes, out of that group, I like all 4 of them. I have Suarez the highest, and then I have Buescher, McDowell, and then Gibbs in that order. But they're all fantastic plays. And I think that Ty Gibbs, Chris Buescher, Michael McDowell grouping in the 7K range on DraftKings today, I mean, you can just load up on them. I love them in all formats. Even on FanDuel, I mean, they're just too cheap. I mean, Chris Buescher, Michael McDowell, they're the same exact plays every single time we go to a road course. They start in the same similar spots, and they're always cheap every single time, and it just always works out, it seems like. I'm probably jinxing them to death here, but I mean, numbers-wise, it all makes sense to play those guys a lot, no matter where they start. What's up, Joe? Morning, everyone. I had that feeling Tyler Reddick dominates today. I mean, it's certainly possible. I mean, how good he is at the road courses, and he's starting in the front row. I think he'd be more likely to dominate over Denny Hamlin, personally. Denny's tough to get to. I mean, it's been a struggle for him at the road courses. I believe he said he's stealing Tyler Reddick's setup for this weekend. But even then, I'd rather have Tyler Reddick. I mean, the guy himself, he's just so good at road courses. If I had to pick between him or Denny Hamlin, obviously Reddick's a lot more expensive. But I just don't think Denny's going to be able to dominate enough. And then after that, you're going to have him finish top 2, top 3 for it to be optimal. And I would say chances are that probably doesn't happen. Because, I mean, yeah, you can think he finishes well, but then you have to think about the other drivers that exist. Like, there's Chase Elliott, there's Kyle Larson, there's Tyler Reddick, there's Ross Chastain, Michael McDowell, Chris Buescher. All these guys, I think, can probably compete with Denny Hamlin, if not surpass him in this race. So I just think the chances are slim Denny's optimal today. But he does have a fast car, at least in qualifying. If you're looking at the lap-by-lap data, it wasn't as amazing. Highline Betting on Twitter posted the absolute lap averages, and I believe Denny was, yeah, he was kind of like mid-pack overall for all his lap times, so. I don't know. And if you also don't think Denny's going to dominate today, over on Prize Picks, his prop is at 24.5 laps led. I do not mind taking the under on that. It's now at 20.5, so, well, you missed out if you didn't. But it was 24.5, so it definitely changed quite a bit. But Prize Picks was tough. I was looking at some of the numbers, and I didn't really like anything this week. The one I did like was the Hamlin, but that kind of got nuked. What's up, Rick? Says 7,200 and down. Who is your best pick on DraftKings? 7,200 and down. I have. Actually, I have Justin Haley. Justin Haley and Chase Briscoe. Those are my top 2. We're 7,200 and down. Felt weird saying Justin Haley, but I actually don't mind Haley today. I got him projected for just under 30 points. That's 4.4x value. It's not bad for his price tag at all. So don't mind Haley. He's not bad at road course. Not bad at road courses. I see our preacher is here. Gary says, like AJ today, he may shock us all. I don't think it'd be a shock. I mean, AJ Allmendinger at a road course is just money. I mean, it definitely would not be shocking if he ran well. I mean, it's just what he does at road courses. I mean, one of the best out there. Skill-wise, he might just be the best, but I mean, he's not like in a Hendrick car with like Chase Young and Kyle Larson. I would like to see that one day, though. That'd be nice. But I'm definitely a fan of AJ in tournaments today. I mean, he's got a fast car. We know how good he has at road courses. Seems like a lot of the time he has issues, but if he doesn't have an issue, I mean, he's going to be a contender all day. $9,300 on DraftKings, 10-5 over on FanDuel. I like him. That's similar odds to guys like Truex, Denny Hamlin. So, definitely in a good spot. What's up, 5J Sports Cards? Says, morning, brother. What are your thoughts on this GPP DraftKings lineup? Larson, Dinger, Truex, Busher, Gibbs, and Burton. Thanks and good luck. Solid lineup overall. I don't really have any complaints about it. I mean, I love Larson. I love Dinger. I love Truex. I love Busher. I love Gibbs. And Burton's fine for a cheap PD play. He starts dead last. So, yeah, I'm fine with that. Joe says, probably comes down to who has that late spin or into the grass moment. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping there's no late caution this week. They always screw me. Now, Coda helped me because I had Larson and McDowell, and they got nuked at the end. And then on the last restart, they gained like 20 spots or something somehow. It helped me a lot. So, I'm hoping there's no late caution this week. Usually ends up screwing me. Matthew says, is Blaney viable on FanDuel, or is he just a DraftKings play? No, he's definitely viable on either site this weekend. He's really cheap on FanDuel, is he not? Let me check. I want to say he was in the 7K range, if I remember correctly. He's cheap on both sites, though. He's only $8,400 on DraftKings. So we're on FanDuel. He's $7,800. So ownership is definitely going to be very, very high. And Truex is only $8,200. You can build some crazy lineups over on FanDuel this weekend because you have Truex, $8,200. Blaney at $7,800. Bowman's at $8,500. I like Bowman a lot today. So you can basically do whatever you want. It's pretty fun. Briscoe or Eric Jones. So that's an ugly group right there. I think I have Briscoe like a couple points higher than Jones. Not too excited about either, though. Happy fun day, Obi. Thank you for stopping by. Says looks like Chris is on Elliott today. If you're referencing the thumbnail, yeah, I was trying to think of who to make on the thumbnail. I wanted to go Truex, but I couldn't find a good headshot of him looking a certain way. So we rolled with Chase Elliott because, you know, road course GOAT. I'm not sure he's the GOAT, but he's right up there with them. Got it done from man spreader. Says good morning, boss. Blaney for the win. We talked about it. I don't think Blaney's going to win this weekend, but for DFS purposes, it'll definitely be popular. Thank you for stopping in, spreader. Do appreciate that, as always. Now you hit that nice parlay on MMA last night. What's up, Ron? Says who finished the best and gets the most stage points throughout the day of these drivers? McDowell, Ross, Elliott, and Busher. Stage points, I'm not exactly sure, but I would say the best finishing at the end of the day, I think I have it projected probably Elliott, McDowell, Busher, Ross in that order, I believe. I had to check my projections, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Morning, Bull. Speckle says, morning, everyone. How y'all doing? We're doing well, Speckle. At least I am. I can't speak for anybody else. Hopefully you all are doing well. Looking forward to the race today. Ryan says, who are the 1 to 3 must-play dominators, and is Haley the best lower-tier driver to fit in? Anyone worth rostering like Balicki or Zane? I'm not really viewing guys as dominators today. Yes, there will be like a main dominator, but I'm still playing these guys just for finishing position purposes. But I would say like the main guys up front that could potentially dominate are like Reddick, Martin Truex Jr., AJ Allmendinger. I'd say those are like the most likely candidates that are up front to dominate. Also, Michael McDowell, don't sleep on him to dominate. He certainly could as well. But cheap plays, I definitely like Haley as a cheap play, but he's almost $7,000, keep in mind. So if we're talking like in the 5K range, I would say Burton. Burton you're just playing because he's starting dead last. Zane Smith, I don't hate it in the 38 car, but I'm not really excited about any of those guys. From 7K down though, I mean Justin Haley's the one that looks the best to me. Exactly, yes. If you get, there's plenty of stuff over on Patreon if you guys want to check it out. And don't forget, you can get that week for free. Preacher says, I need Chris to start so I can get on with my sermon. Speckle says, how you feel about Larson, Chastain, Truex, Buescher, McDowell, LaJoy for DraftKings? I don't mind that at all. LaJoy, he's iffy. I thought he was going to pop more in the Sims than he did. Didn't really get too much love from me. But as your last piece fit guy, I mean, you could definitely do worse. So I'm fine with LaJoy, and I'm fine with that lineup. It looks pretty good. All those guys are good at road courses and project pretty well for me today. Doing a lot of praying for Chastain. He needs it. Loud and clear, boss man. Appreciate that, Keith. J Smokes says, what's up, bro? What's up, J Smokes? I'm torn between Buescher and Larson or Cindric and McDowell. Good luck this week. I would go with Buescher and Larson personally. I think Buescher and McDowell are kind of a wash. So at that point, it just becomes, do I want Larson or Cindric? And I definitely want Larson over Cindric. So that's the route I would go. Dave says, but I need to fade Blaney and Cindric in a DraftKings GPP? No, not at all. You don't have to play those guys. Like, I have Cindric projected for a 20th place finish. It's not going to be that easy to pass, and it's not like he was too impressive in practice. I know he's a great road course driver, but, I mean, it wasn't that impressive so far. And if we're looking at what I'm projected for, I have Cindric projected for 38.33 points with a 20.18 projected finish. And I gave him like 1.6 diameter points, just a random fast lap maybe. But that's beneath guys like Allmendinger, beneath Martin Truex Jr. It's only like 1 point more than Buescher and McDowell and Bowman. And the ownership's going to be much lower on, well, maybe not much lower, on a couple of those guys. Well, for Cindric, I mean, for Blaney, they're going to be lower. Cindric, I'm not sure how high Cindric's going to end up being. I think I have him in the 20s. But you definitely don't have to play him. I mean, like, if you have $100 left in your salary, I'd almost rather just get to Chris Buescher or those kind of guys. Alex Bowman, leave money on the table just to get a little bit different. What's up, Obi? What's up, James? Thank you for being here. What's up, Clint? Happy race day. Let's go, Harvick. Yeah, we'll see about Harvick today. He was fast as Sonoma last year. Obviously, he didn't really show us anything in practice, but he's just one of those guys that doesn't make mistakes. So even if he doesn't have the fastest car, I mean, if he just grinds his way to a top 15, it could be worse. $8,100. That's for sure. So I don't mind some Kevin today, but I do think the ownership's gonna be pretty high. Is the problem? Convicted says Reddick, McDowell, Hamlin, Bell, Logano, Austin Dillon, also is it okay leave money in table or spend up? Okay, so I like the guys up front, but I think you might just be a little bit too heavy there because you got the guys starting what, 1 through 4? Christopher Bell starts 4th, right? Let me check. Yeah, I wouldn't play 1 through 4 personally. That's a bit too much. You'd have to have him pretty much finish 1 through 4, which I don't think is probably gonna happen. And then I'm not the biggest Logano fan, so I mean I like those drivers, but I don't like them together if that makes any sense. But you can certainly leave money on the table. That's not a problem today. Steven says, who do I like between LaJoy and Gilliland? I believe I have Gilliland projected a little bit higher. Yeah, I got LaJoy at like 16-ish points, which isn't great. 23rd projected finish. Maybe I'm a little bit low on him. I got Gilliland at 19 points, so it's a matter of 3 points, really. I would say if you already have some PD plays, probably just throwing Gilliland. If you already got a ton, I'd maybe just throw on LaJoy. It'd be a little bit different there. Ryan says, Blaney, Bowman, Buescher, Busch, Burton, Byron. It's a big alliteration there, right? I mean, it could work. It could definitely work, but I'm trying to see. So you have Blaney, Byron, not too much place. Yeah, kind of. I mean, it can work. I mean, I don't hate it, but it's a lot of B's. Sorry, my email is going nuts. Yes, sir. Sonoma race day. Looking forward to it. Bush says like 34 is a possible upset win. I will take it. I got him on DK at 4,500 on like Tuesday or something. Or Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever it was. He's now down to 1,200, I think. So I feel good about that. I could cash it out. Just lock in some profit, but I think we're just going to roll with McDowell and see how that goes. Because he's got a legitimate shot to win. He really does. See, Miss Juliana is here. Says happy race day, and of course, love looking at this. Thank you, appreciate it. What's up, Lucas? I'll be happy to help you out. Ask me any question you need. Chastain over Byron minus 115. Yeah, I don't mind that. I would say Chastain's got a bit of a better car than Byron from what we've seen so far. He was 6th in the 5 lap, 12th in the 1 lap. If you're looking at Byron, he was 25th and 29th, which I don't think he's going to be a French top 30 car. I'm assuming he's going to improve upon that, but I would have Chastain over Byron personally. Chris says 1 or 2 dom race. I'm not really viewing this as a dominator race, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, there's going to be guys that dominate, and I'll have them in my lineup, but like, I'm just basically playing finishing position. So I'm not really chasing dominators, if that makes sense. There's only 110 laps. So I'm just playing all the guys I think can finish high. Like, you can play like a 4-dom lineup in theory. Like, you can play Reddick, McDowell, Busher, Allmendinger, all those guys can fit. I mean, they can all dominate, but I'm not playing them as dominators, if that makes sense. Bull says, Elliott, Larson, Reddick, Gilly, McDowell on FanDuel. I know Gilly is rough, but man, those other 4 are hot. Problem is, though, I just don't think... I mean, Gilly's in a Rick Ware car. And on FanDuel, I just typically avoid scrubs unless this is Daytona. I mean, the projections don't make sense on it, you know? Like on DraftKings, yeah, you play those guys because that's how the roster construction works. But on FanDuel, when you have five drivers to pick from, it just doesn't make sense to me personally. Like, I just think you're giving up too much. Because when Gilly finishes like 26th, and then you have other lineups with guys finishing no worse than 12th or something like that, or 10th or 8th, you're just not going to win. And it's not like it was like a ton of dominator points where, hey, maybe I can make it up with Larson leading 300 laps, you know? So I just don't like that roster construction this week. Awesome, Chris. Yeah, congrats on the AA bet. That was seriously really cool. Are we friends again? Didn't realize there was beef. Speckle says you got to create an optimal lineup on DraftKings. Who you going with? You guys want to build a lineup together? I still got to build all my lineups. I'm going to play the June bug today because I thought the slate was interesting. So, and I'm not saying I'm going to play it. Let's see what we can do together here really quick. So because I prefer to build like right before the slate starts because then I don't have time to tinker with my lineups and change stuff. So I feel like just getting my build done, then I don't have any more time left. So I got to just stick with it. So if I'm building an optimal lineup, so I'm not caring about ownership or anything, just straight optimal projection wise, I'd probably start with Kyle Larson. I haven't projected the highest by a few points today. After that, again, we're speaking optimally. So, like, again, we're not trying to get different. So I'd probably have Truex in there, Ryan Blaney. And then I'll run the optimizer afterwards, and I'll see how close they were to, like, my projected optimal. So as of right now, we're starting with Larson, Truex, Blaney. This is probably going to be an extremely chalky lineup if we're going for an optimal route. Probably would have Chris Buescher in there, starting in 7th. And I feel like Michael McDowell also will be in there for me. And that's going to leave me $6,900 left, which I have Justin Haley there, Eric Almirola, Austin Dillon. I'll put Haley in there for now. So just like a first build would be Larson, Truex, Blaney, Buescher, McDowell, Haley. I don't think that's a bad looking lineup. If we head over to the Opto, I'll crunch a couple lineups quick and see what the first one is. And yep, Larson, Truex, Blaney, and then Busher, McDowell, and Justin Haley. So actually, that's the first one right there, which I'm not really too surprised about because at least it's my project. I mean, everyone's going to be a little bit different. Second one was Larson, Truex, Blaney, Busher, Gibbs, Haley. So yeah, it likes Justin Haley, which is weird. Not weird, but I'm surprised he was popping so much starting in 23rd. But if he just gets you like a 20th place finish, that's not bad. He's certainly capable of doing that. If you're looking at some of his road course numbers. So 5 technical road course in the next gen car, average finish 17.6 with 4 top 20s and 2 top 15s. I mean, Haley can definitely. I don't mind him at all. I mean, if he's gonna be low owned today, I'd project that for like 13%. Maybe that's a bit low. I have to do some snooping and seeing if some other people are on him, and if they are, he might be a little bit higher owned than that. But I do like him today. So there, we put a lineup together, I guess. Steve says, you really need to start doing truck and Xfinity content. Who knows, Steve? Maybe I will do it eventually. I have been getting into it. I do enjoy it so far. I doing prize picks for it at least, just to be interested. And I hit yesterday, had the Larson lap sled over and Cole Custer fantasy points. Clutched up at the end. He wasn't doing that great during the race, but he made his way. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe we will. I'll keep playing prize picks to get my toes wet, like Xfinity and stuff like that, but that'll be fun. The problem is, though, I'm just so busy on Saturday and Sunday for, obviously it's not on Sunday, but on Saturday for Cup stuff, it's just, I don't know if I'm going to have time to do Xfinity and trucks content. But we can consider it for next year. Definitely not something I'd be doing this season. Alex says, Reddick and Balicki or Chastain and someone 5,500 and below in a 2v2. Also appreciate the content. Thank you, Alex. Reddick and Balicki or Chastain and 5,500 and below. There is not many great options 5,500 and below. We do have Burton. We do have LaJoie and Todd Gillen. That's somewhat not terrible. I'd probably go with... let me check projections on Balicki. I have Balicki at not that many points, obviously. I'd probably have to go the Chastain route then. Because at least, yeah, probably Chastain. Kind of done it from man Stanley. Says happy race day. Appreciate that, Stanley. Hoping it's a happy race day at least. I just want a nice boring race. That's all I ask for. A nice boring race where all the good drivers just stay up front and then we end it. That'd be great. What's up, Jim? Thoughts on Cindric? Doesn't seem like he's got the best car in the world. Starting in 34th, I mean, I know he's so far back there. 26th and 11 practice. We will see. I don't know. Now, if you're looking by the lap-by-lap data, I mean, he wasn't bad, but passing's not going to be the easiest, and he's going to carry some ownership, so he's good at road courses is the problem. So fading him is kind of scary. He does have 4 top 10s and 5 technical road course races in the next-gen car, so like, I'm okay with him, but I do like pivots off of him in tournaments, like you have AJ Allmendinger, Truex, Suarez. So that's where I'm going to be living. I mean, it's okay to get some shares of him, but again, we just talked about this, but I'm projected for 38.5 points. But I can get Dinger. I'm projected for a point higher, Ross Chastain, Suarez. So just my personal opinion. Where I'd rather be in tournaments at least. In cash games, I mean, it's fine just to eat that. Who's the best contrarian play today? I think there's quite a few. Alex Bowman's a guy I think might fly under the radar, but actually not a bad road course racer at all. Showed some decent speed in practice. And if you're looking at the 5-race sample size I'm looking at in the next gen car, I mean, he's got average finish of 9.4 with 4 top 15s, 2 top 10s, and so I mean, I think Bowman will fly under the radar a bit. Justin Haley might as well. We talked about him. Let me see who's popping the most in the leverage on my sims here. So, and yeah, Cindric's actually like dead even in sims for me. So, I mean, I I don't hate him. I don't want to make it sound like I don't like the guy today. It's just the ownership. But yeah, I got Haley, Gibbs, McDowell, Busher, Suarez, all those guys popping. Dinger. Haley, we already talked about, so those guys popping up for leverage. Corey says, I'm thinking running most guys in the teens instead of the guys way back. Thoughts? I'm with you, Corey. I'm with you. I mean, you can build some really solid lineups with guys starting inside the top 20 today. Very solid. Kyle says, how much Allmendinger today? I have him and Bell in my lineup. Or I guess just how Allmendinger today. I mean, I like Dinger a lot. I'm not the biggest fan of Bell today, but Dinger is going to be a contender. I mean, he is every single time we're at a road course, so I would definitely get exposure there. He's one of my favorite tournament plays on the slate, so I am with you. Tito says that Chase Elliott car looks good on that shelf. Oh, yes. Thank you for the car, Tito. He did send me a nice Chase Elliott Hooters car. The black and orange paint scheme looks really, really good. So maybe that'll bring him some luck today. What about Lolly? He's just too expensive. I just don't really want to run $6,200 15 car. 36 no lap in practice, 28th in the 5 lap. I do not have much interest at all. I don't even think he popped in the Sims. Anybody starting in the back? Not that I saw from Bob. Let me check. And my Twitter on desktop just went to light mode for no reason and it looks awful. I don't know how to change that back. I guess I'll do it later. Oh, we got the display. Here we go. Lights out. That looks much better. All right, let me check Bob's Twitter. Not seeing anything on drivers going to the rear just yet. I'm getting the tweet up information. All right, here's the main tweet he always posts. So we got 350 is green flag. Man, we got a while then. 25, 30, 55 for the stages. 6 sets, field 45 to 48 laps, and a 10% chance of rain. His picks are Larson, Truex, Hamlin, Busher, McDowell, Longshot, Gibbs. I guess me and Bob are on the same brainwaves today. Maybe not with Denny for the top 5, but I'm with him on everybody else. Chris says, cash lineup, Larson, Reddick, Blaney, Harvick, Briscoe, and Burton. I'm not sure Briscoe is really a cash play today. I think in cash, you're going to want Larson, Truex, and Blaney for sure. After that, it's kind of tough. I mean, Harvick, I guess, is fine for cash games. Reddick, I'm not sure if people are really going to roll with in cash. I think there's too much place differential out there for people to roll with Reddick in cash games. I'm not saying Reddick's a bad play. He could certainly dominate win this race. That is definitely in the cards. I have him as my protected winner. But I don't think people are going to go there in cash games. I feel like people are going to plug in Byron, Austin Cindric, which I don't think I want to do that in tournaments. But I do think I'd probably slip Truex in there, though. He says, make sure to hit that like button today, fellas. It goes a long way. It sure does. Sure does. Doug says, anything for underdog today, Chris? So when I went to bed last night, I didn't see anything. So let me see what they got posted. Okay, they got some stuff out. So we have Larson at 5, Elliott at 5.5. So basically you're getting Elliott for a top 5, which I actually don't think is the worst one to be lower on. And if we're looking at his top 5 odds, I think FanDuel has them. No, they got top 3 odds. Maybe Barstool has top 5. Either way, I do think Elliott will finish in the top 5 today, at least be close to it. Let me see if they got the top 5 odds. I have him projected to finish second. They do. So, I mean, they got Elliott plus 100. They got Larson and Reddick at minus 118. I mean, I think Chase Elliott finishes top 5. So I'd probably take the lower on that. Also, we got... the rest don't look great. I mean, they got Blaney at 13.5, starting in 31st. I mean, I could see him probably being fringe top 15, so I wouldn't mind taking like a higher on that. And then I also think Bowman under 14.5, so to finish in the top 14, I think that's definitely doable for him. So those are the few that look decent. I guess like the Elliott lower. Even the Larson lower looks good at 5. And then Blaney higher and Bowman lower. They don't look bad, but I'm not sure I'm like super excited to pick any of those. Thoughts on LaJoie? The speed wasn't terrible in practice. He could probably hold ground. It's just you have guys like Burton starting not 20 spots, but like 15 spots further back. And you have Todd Gillen starting like 13 spots further back. And they could be somewhat similar. You also have Zane Smith. So I'd be careful with Corey. I think he's worth like 5 to 10% exposure. That's probably about it. Good morning, Sarah from Mississippi. Thank you for stopping in. Jason says, Busher and Austin Dillon or Gibbs and Haley? Thanks for your help and good luck today. Ooh, Busher and Austin Dillon or Gibbs and Haley. That's going to be very close on the projections. Let me see. So we got Busher at 37 and Austin Dillon at 24. I should probably bust out the calculator. It's going to be tough to call. All right, so we got 37.36 plus 24.14. So we got 61.5 for the first one, projection-wise. And then for Ty Gibbs and Justin Haley, we got 62.39. So the second one's like a point higher. And I think it'll be a little bit lower owned as well. So I guess the second one looks better for tournaments. What's up, C. Mitch? Happy race day. Good luck to everyone. Good luck to you as well, sir. Preacher says, Coda almost sent my TV. Coda was great. Coda was great. For me, anyway. No Pants Check says, that's in this lineup. Larson, Elliott, Blaney, Gibbs, McDowell, Burton. I don't have a problem with that at all. Looks pretty good to me. I feel like someone sent that a little bit ago. But I do like it. Last man in, 6,500 and under. I would say probably not a great range to be in. That's for starters. I have Ryan Preece as the highest there. Or no, Harrison Burton as the highest at $5,500 under 65. But it's gross down there. Have a lineup with 1K left over. Is that too much? No, that's fine. It's fine on a road course. I mean, it's not like we're chasing dominator points really. So I'm okay with that at a track like this. What's up, Matt? Says Yo CP Mafia. Let's take this down today. Thanks, Chris, as always. Thank you for stopping by. I almost said Nate. Stopping by, Matt. Appreciate that. I guess I should reserve some FanDuel contests. They killed some of the contests I like, which was unfortunate. Tito says Truex will log out. I like Truex a lot today. We got him at so FanDuel leaves their lines open during practice, and they had him at plus 850 for a top 3 and plus 105, I believe, for a top 10. Obviously, those have gone way down. So I feel good about the numbers we got. I think you can cash out for like double your money on the top 3 right now. But I'm probably just going to hold on to it, I think. That was his itch. Sorry. Albert says, morning, Chris. Morning, Albert. How does Larson, Elliott, Busher, Gibbs, LaJoie, and McDowell look for cash games? Whew. I mean, you got a couple lower owned plays like Busher and well, not Busher. I don't think he's gonna be that low owned, but Gibbs and LaJoie, I feel like are going to be a bit iffy for cash games. You really don't have that much place differential, which I think a lot of people go for in cash games. Projection wise, like I love that lineup. I think that looks great for tournaments, but for cash, it's a little bit iffy because if one of those guys has issues, you're probably going to just get nuked. So that's something you have to think about for sure. Good morning, Mart. You done Yeezy? Good morning, chat. LFG. Let's do it, sir. Thank you for being here. Doug says Chris's Patreon equals positive ROI. I hope so. Hopefully you guys like the content over there. If you've just been following the bets, I'm talking in Discord stuff. Definitely up on the season. It's been a good year so far. But yeah, I'm glad you like the content, Doug. Tons of stuff over there. Even if you don't agree with some of the stuff I say, you can just look at the data and make your own decisions on that as well over there. Adam says, any picks to win odds that you like after qualifying? Only Elliott, Larson, and Reddick are shorter than 10 to 1. Yeah, so, I mean, betting after qualifying this year is just tough because there's really not that much to like anymore because they just nuked the lines. Although I do have like 0.2% leverage on McDowell still, even at his 1,400 number, I believe. These are the lines last night. The thing is, though, I think McDowell's now 1,200. So I would not have value at 12. And I also have value on Suarez at his current number. Because I was at negative 0.2% at 1,500, but I think at some places you can get 2,200. And I definitely have value on Suarez there still. I'm actually not really sure why he's at 2,200. So I believe that's over on FanDuel. So I think that's worth a little bit. Not like a full unit or anything, but maybe like half at 2,200 because I think it's a pretty solid number. But other than that, I don't have anything. And I have, like, they're probably going to win, but I have some extreme negative leverage on Reddick, Larson, Elliott. We're talking like negative 6, 7, 8%. Like, are they probably going to win? Yes, but at the same time, I'm giving them like 13, 11% chances compared to like Vegas having me like 20%. So I just can't bet favorites like that. And like you could use Xfinity for example. Like, is Larson or Dinger probably going to win? Yes, but things like late in the race can happen. And then you have a guy like Almirola at 250 to 1. So I just hate laying money down on big favorites, and my numbers always say not to usually. So yeah, I had to pass on those guys. Let's get to 100 likes. Yeah, let's do it. I don't know where we're at now. Like, I think it's 83, so if we can get over 100 likes, I would appreciate that. Gibbs versus McDowell. I think I have McDowell a little bit higher. Yeah, I got McDowell like 35.1, and then Gibbs at 33, so it's close. But McDowell's just been so good at road courses. Chris says the Fords all look bad except McDowell. Yeah, if we look at qualifying, obviously McDowell did well. McDowell and Buescher, I mean, those are the ones you expect, but if you just remove McDowell and Buescher, who were just money at the road courses last year, the next guy we see is Joey Logano down there in 17th. So they didn't really have a ton of speed so far, obviously. And then you have the bigger names like Cindric and Ryan Blaney in the back as well. What's up, Jason? What's up, Chris? What you think? Chase Elliott top 3? I mean, it's what I would project, yes. But I think you can get, what, plus 100 or something like that? Or was that for the top 5? Either way, like, if I had to pick the top 3, it's like Larson, Elliott, Reddick. But it's just a matter of do you want to lay down that number. Hammer says I'm running Reddick, Dinger, Truex, McDowell, Austin Dillon, and Gibbs in a big field GPP. How does that look? I like that a lot. I mean, you could easily see Dinger and Reddick finish in the top 3. Truex is going to be a contender, McDowell, Austin Dillon. So, yeah, I have no problem with that at all. Appreciate that, Speckle. Thank you for being here, and you're the man as well. Stanley says, how many PD plays to shoot for? I only want 1 or 2 per lineup. Do you have a preference between Suarez and Chastain? Yeah, PD plays I would be pretty careful about. I don't want to go too crazy on these guys. Like, I don't want a lineup that has Byron, Blaney, Cindric, and then like even more PD plays in there. I think like 1 or 2 is okay in a lineup. But I definitely want to be higher on the guys that are up front that showed a lot of speed. And do I have a preference between Suarez and Chastain? I think projection-wise, I have Suarez like a point higher. But it's very close. Just flip a coin, really. They're neck and neck in projections. What's up, Joshua Pennell? Almost stole my name there. What's going on, guys? Just chilling. Going well. Sarah says, Jimmy, Elliott and Larson for cash or fitting more PD? I'm okay with playing Larson and Elliott in cash games. I'm not sure everyone's going to do that, but I like it. I like it. Now, if you don't go that route, I think you have to have Larson. But I think a lot of people would probably go Byron over Elliott in cash games because he's starting so many more spots further back, but I think Elliott's going to be a lot better in this race. And I do have Elliott predicted 5 points better than William Byron as well. MN Skills says Elliott, Larson, Byron, Jones, Priest, and Dillon. I'm all in on a $15 maxed out, same lineup. Being all in on a $15 for the 150 max, I believe, on Ryan Priest doesn't sound like the most fun time in the world, I'll be honest. We'll see how that goes, though. I wish you the best. Jared says, good morning, race fans. How do you feel about Larson, Reddick, Elliott, Busher, Burton, and LaJoy? It's solid. I'm not sure I love the double punt, but everything else looks pretty good. I mean, I love Larson, Reddick, Elliott, and Busher. So, Alex says, your optimal build was what I had in my only lineup I made. So now naturally I'm rethinking everything. Yeah, I mean, that could be maybe higher than I thought then if we were on the same one, especially if it was Justin Haley. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's not too duped. I'm considering playing it as well. Jay says Larson, Truex, AJ, Bowman, Almirola, and Gilliland. We'll see about Almirola. I'm not the biggest fan. I know he just won the road course race in Xfinity, but he was 34th in the 1 lap in practice, 25th in the 5 lap, and just really not that great at road courses, to be honest. Average running position at 25th, and did have one top 15 last year, and that was it. He starts 20th. I just don't really think there's that much upside for Almirola. But I think it's like the first person that's asked me about Bowman, maybe the second. I like Bowman today, so don't forget about him, guys. Who's the cheapest driver you feel comfortable rostering on DraftKings? Comfortable? Like Dylan, but then after that, I guess if I had to, like Gilliland or LaJoy. But like Dylan, Austin Dillon, that is really like the lowest I'd want to go. Gilliland does good value, 19th place for the Rick Ware machine. 19th place is a bit of a steep projection for a guy in a Rick Ware car. 27th in 1 lap in practice, 22nd in the 5 lap. I think Gilliland would be happy with the 25th. BP Major says thoughts on Gilliland, Busher, AJ, Truex, Blaney, and Reddick. All right, so we get, I'm trying to do this price wise. So we have Reddick up top, then Dinger, then Truex. I like that. Blaney, Busher. Yeah, that's a good lineup. I like that, VP. Yep, you can get a free week over on Patreon if you want to check it out. Hit the link that Spread sent. Hold on, I think I'm like 20 minutes behind in the chat. James says DK Cash, Larson, Reddick, MTJ, Blaney, Austin, Dillon, and Burton. Like, I like Reddick today. I'm just not sure he's the best cash gameplay. Like, I like him, but I think for cash games, I'd rather play like a Chase Elliott, personally. Just to get the extra PD spots in case Reddick doesn't dominate half the race. Just my opinion. I mean, I don't think it's the end of the world to play Reddick in cash games. I think I prefer Chase Elliott. And if you're looking at the lap-by-lap data, I mean, Elliott is a bit faster than Tyler Reddick. Although I know track position's huge. I mean, you don't have to be the fastest car in the world to lead laps, especially if you get track position. I mean, just because Larson's faster than Reddick doesn't mean Reddick can't lead 40 laps at the beginning until Larson gets there. Jamie says Bell. I am not huge on Bell. I think Sims have him optimal around. Oh, where's he at? Like close to 10% of the time. Yeah. That's not great. Bell over Truex and Bowman over Busher. Also Todd Gilliland over Haley. Is this for like head-to-heads on Sportsbook? Something like that? Bell over Truex. I don't love that. I think Truex definitely has maybe the best car today. He might have the car. Bowman over Busher. It's iffy. I don't really have strong stances on those. And I would not do Todd Gilliland over Haley. Unless you mean I don't know if this is DFS or like head-to-head on sports books or not. Jim says thoughts on Briscoe. I mean, he's not the worst road course driver out there. I know, kind of view him as a guy that can do well at road courses, but looks like he's going to have like a 20th place car, really. I mean, if you're looking at road courses for him, average finish 20th, running position just outside the top 15. Like, he'll probably finish anywhere from like 15th to 20th, which is not terrible, but I'm not sure it's going to win you a tournament. AJ says, is Busher one of the better sleepers for this track position? Says salary. And happy Sunday, I finally made it to one of these and I'm having to work super early. Well, I'm glad you don't have to work super early, AJ. But yeah, Busher, I'm not sure I'm going to call him a sleeper, though. Like, I know you wouldn't think he'd have too much ownership for where he's starting in the price, but I think people just caught on to how good he is at road courses recently. So I think the ownership will be there. I'm not going to call him a sleeper. I mean, he might not be like 30% owned, but he won't be like single digits or anything. Georgie says, how do you not pick the guy who gets the first pit stop every week? Well, I mean, it's a little bit... I mean, it helps, but at a road course, it's not going to be like the same kind of advantage. Like at a track where we're going to have stage breaks or a bunch of restarts or anything like that. So, a little bit different here. Unless we do get a bunch of cautions, but even then. Now at Charlotte, yeah, if you get the first pit stall at Charlotte, that is huge. And then Kyle Busch was just fast last week, and obviously having the first pit stall helped as well. But it's definitely an advantage. But at a road course, I don't think it's like the biggest deal in the world. Unless we get a bunch of yellows. Isaiah says, Reddick, Elliott, Larson, Almirola, and Priest. I don't love Almirola today or Priest. Those are the iffy guys. Obviously, I love the other three. They're great. But Almirola and Priest, I'm not huge fans on. Someone who normally enters 1 or 2 DraftKings GPP lineups and 150-50 lineup a week. What is a good strategy for this to keep myself more profitable than not? Do you enter 1 or 2 in the big contests? If so, that's not a profitable strategy in its own. I mean, you're more than likely just going to get burned. Now, I mean, obviously you can get lucky and have a huge week, so that'll keep you afloat. But if you're only building 1 to 2 lineups, I would probably just end up playing 3 lineups and then play a 3 max contest. Because everyone else is on the same playing field as you. You're not playing against guys that have 150 lineups, using optimizers, sims, things like that. I mean, it's just a losing. I mean, you can be as smart as you want to be, but I mean, just having 1 or 2 bullets versus guys that have 150 is just a big uphill battle. So I would, if you're only building 1 or 2, I would probably get out of that and play like a 3 max. Just out of lineup, personally, my opinion. But that's the route I would go. And then for 50-50, I mean, that's smart. That's always smart to do to help keep yourself afloat if you're going to play tournaments, because obviously in tournaments you can't expect to cash at a similar rate as you can in cash games, given the payout structures and things like that. That could be wrong. You might be someone that plays like one lineup in a single entry, another one in a single entry, and my advice wasn't good. But if you're playing in the big contest, I would recommend getting out of those, because it's just a really uphill battle. And as I always say, I know that looks like 100K at first, but it's better to win like $500 than having a dream of winning 100,000, which probably won't happen, you know. So hopefully that helps. Carmi says, good morning, bud. Good luck today. Good morning, and good luck to you as well, Carmi. Thank you for being here. Haley or Briscoe? I think I have Haley like a couple more points higher than Briscoe. Yeah, I'm at 29, Briscoe like 27.5, so guess I'll go with Haley there. What are 4 good cash plays? It's a lot. I would say Larson, Truex, and Blaney are the ones I would start with. Morgan says, happy race day, Chris. Happy race day to you as well, Morgan. Thank you for stopping by. Jim says, the Chicago street race is a joke next week. It's not next week, is it? Then we have like next week off. Right. I gotta check the NASCAR schedule now. Pretty sure we're off next week. Yes, we were unfortunately off next week. And then we have Nashville. And then it's Chicago. I was going to say, July 4th weekend isn't going to be that soon, is it? So, looking forward to Nashville. Don't like the week off, though. That's going to suck. Then we got that Chicago street race on July 2nd. I am not looking forward to the Chicago street race. That is going to be follow the leader to the max, I'm assuming. So whoever's on the poll for the Chicago street race, congratulations, I guess. Then we got Atlanta, New Hampshire, Pocono, and Richmond. I like New Hampshire and Richmond, but the rest are not that great. I'm with you, though. Not a fan of the whole Chicago thing. Speckle says, have a good day, y'all. Good luck to everybody. Got to go and do some mowing. Get that mowing in before it gets too hot, Speckle. No problem at all, Scott. Matt says, morning, Chris. Morning, Matt. Loving almost all the drivers in the top 10 today. How many are too many to roster on DraftKings? Yeah, I like a lot of the guys in the top 10 today, and you could roster like Busher, McDowell, Dinger, Elliott. I mean, you could play 5 if you wanted. I don't think that would be the worst idea in the world. Pete says, Ty outscores Austin on DraftKings today. True or false? Thanks, Chris. That's what I have it projected as, personally. Hope so anyway, at least. Steve says, Suarez or Chastain? I have Suarez like a point higher. It's more of a flip of a coin, though, personally. No, I wish I did, Zachary. I would really like to learn how to do that, the whole coding thing, but unfortunately, do not have to do. But I do it in Excel to build up all the projections and model it out. Unfortunately, though, I'm not that smart. Doug says, Larson, Truex, Blaney, Cindric, McDowell, and Zane or Burton for cash. Okay, so we have Larson, Truex, Blaney, Cindric, McDowell, and then Zane or Burton for cash. I'd probably go with Burton because he starts dead last. I mean, he was 32nd on the one lap and Zane was 30th. It's not like that was a big difference. Looking at the lap by lap data, I guess Burton's higher than Zane. It's close. I'd probably go with Burton though. This last. Jim says I have Reddick, Dinger, Busher, Bowman, McDowell, Haley. I don't mind that at all, Jim. It's a solid lineup. Bruce says, Ty Gibbs suggestion, thanks. I like Ty Gibbs today. He's one of my favorite tournament plays. Now, he runs really well and he screws me a lot. Like, he'll be a top 10 and he just wrecks. So hopefully that doesn't happen this weekend. But he's got a decent car. Starting at 6, good track position. He could definitely make things work today. Rick says, CP, I'm playing the Chrome Horn. Are you playing? If so, let's go to the top. On draft? No, I am not playing the Chrome Horn. I will be in the June bug and then we'll see what I want to do in FanDuel. I am in the 20 max on FanDuel though, which is kind of their Chrome Horn. So if you're playing in there, I'll see you. But hopefully you do well, Rick. Burton or Gilly? I believe I have Burton a little bit higher. You as well, Steve. Thank you for stopping by. Jared says, can you rank the scrub 6K and below on DraftKings? It's not great. I think projection-wise, we have Burton first, then Gillen, then Zane, Stenhouse, and LaJoy. The rest are just not. I'm not playing the rest. And it says, how many unique lineups do you typically enter on a given GPP slate? So most of my lineups, I just play single entry or 3 max. So that's what I've been heavily doing. Like, I used to play a lot of 150 max, but I've been having more success on the 3 max single entry builds. So that's what I'm kind of been focusing on mainly. Now I do play some 20 max just for fun, but I just kind of let the projections rip on those. Ross says, thoughts on my lineup: Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, William Byron, Tyler Reddick, Harrison Burton, Ryan Blaney. I'll be honest, rostering Brad Keselowski at a road course is just not that fun. He spins every single time, multiple times it seems like. If you're looking at how he did at road courses last year, I mean, running position of 22nd, average finish of 22nd, average 19 DraftKings points per race with a drive rating of 60, which it's pretty bad. Like, for example, we have Eric Jones at 62, Eric Almirola at 47, Priest at 53. Like, he's spun in practice too. Like, I don't know, he just doesn't have it at road courses. I don't really like Brad today. Probably see him spin at some point. The rest, though, I can roll with. See, Austin says, I'd rather play Sniper after 12 Bud Lights than Bill. Jeez. I don't know if I'd go that far. Michael says, Larson, Reddick, Dinger, McDowell, Stenhouse, Dillon. I would probably choose one of Stenhouse or Dillon. I prefer Dillon, but the rest I like a lot. Steven says, Briscoe or Haley. I'll go with Haley there. Jeff says, top 3 projected ownership for cash games. I think it's going to be Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, and then it gets a little iffy after that, but I think Truex might sneak his way in for the top 3. If it's not Truex, it's probably like a William Byron or something like that for cash games. Thoughts? I have Bowman, Elliott, Chastain, Busher, Haley, and McDowell. That's not a bad lineup at all, Carmi. Not a bad lineup at all. Zachary says, who would you pair with Reddick, Gibbs, Busher, McDowell, and Dillon? I gotta be honest, I don't know how much money is left on that. Let me plug it in. So we have Reddick, Gibbs, Busher, McDowell. Gibbs, Busher, McDowell, and Dillon. Assuming that's Austin. So that leaves us with 10-7 left. I'd probably just put Larson in, to be honest. Larson or Elliott, pick your favorite. I would say Larson, though. Zane or Burton? I got Burton like a point higher. It's close. But appreciate that, James. Doug says, you think it's safer to stay out of the low 6K range and below in cash today? Yeah, Burton's okay for a punt in cash games just because he's dead last. But, I mean, if you can avoid the under 6K range, I'd be pretty happy with it. Balicki, I just don't like where he's starting. Like, he was 33rd in the one lap in practice. I'm expecting him to lose a spot or two unless there's some crashes. Kiana says Blaney, Elliott, Larson, Cindric, Burton, Dillon for cash games. It's not bad. I mean, it can pass. It's passable. Dillon's a little bit iffy for cash for where he's starting, though. But the rest are pretty good. Spread says Chicago Street Race sounds miserable. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. It's going to suck, probably. I don't know why we're doing this. $70 million man. Says Ballard Blaney. I would go with Blaney. Might give me much higher own though, but I'd still rather play him. Alex says, Travis says, sweet, made it for a live. Who we on today? What's up, Travis? Basically all the road course guys that we typically play. So Larson, Elliott, Busher, McDowell, those kind of guys. You can probably guess who we're on. Alex says, happy race day, Chris. I'm late to the party. Who's our cash core / must? Thanks and best. For cash core, I'm sticking with Truex, Larson, and Truex, Larson. Who's the other guy? Oh, Blaney. That's who I'd be going on for the must plays in cash games. Zachary says, bro, that would take forever. Well, it's not that bad. It is automated. I don't do each and every single one. Like, I can just press a couple buttons and it all pops out for me. So it's not as bad as you might think. I don't sit here and press every single number. Now, to build it at first, it took a while, but now if I just plug a couple things in, it does the rest for me, which is nice. Darren says, Ty Gibbs or McDowell? I believe I have McDowell a little bit higher. Steven said, Larson, Dinger, Truex. I like that. Blaney, Haley, Austin, Dillon. Any changes needed? No, that looks good. It's a good looking lineup. Like all those drivers. Any Brad K or Eric Jones? I would try to avoid those guys if I could. I'd rather play Eric Jones over Keselowski, though. I guess. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I just feel like every time we do a road course, Brad spins. Brad was a bit faster in practice. I mean, I guess I'd probably rather play Brad over Eric Jones, but I'd rather neither, I guess. 9K or less, last spot. Truex or Blaney or someone else. I would go with Truex personally. I like him a lot. Spread says, I think 1 year at Sonoma, McDowell stole like 5K from me and C-Pen in the last lap. Oh, was that Sonoma spread? I remember that because McDowell was running good and then he spun and finished like 27th. I remember that. Was it Sonoma though? He just brought back a really bad memory though. That's unfortunate. Ross says, I think he took Bowman with him too, if I remember correctly. I had like all three guys that wrecked at the end of that last lap. It sucked. Ross says, who'd you sub in for Brad K? Gibbs, McDowell, Busher, Bowman. I think all those guys are going to run better than Brad today. top 5. I mean, projected top 5, I would say, for me is Reddick, Elliott, Larson, and then I believe I have it as Truex and McDowell, I think, for the top 5. Then he says, when doing 3-max, do you put your top 2 or 3 core guys in all entries or spread out the bottom? So it depends on the slate. I think today I'll probably just have a core and then build around the mix and match guys. But I'm probably going to do 2 Larson lineups because I got to fade him in 1 just in case. Probably do 2 Larsons, 1 Chase, a Dinger, mix and match in there. But I will be very heavy on like my core of Ty Gibbs, McDowell, Busher for tournaments. And then we'll mix and match from there. So I would have a tight core. Some weeks you're going to get burnt, but when you don't, you can make up for it the other weeks. Because I don't really like building like 3 completely different lineups. Now, if it's like Daytona or something, that's okay to do. But for a track like this, I'm just going to have a core and then I'll switch a couple things out up top or down on the bottom. Michael says, last man in, Elliott, Byron, or Bush. I would go with Chase. James says, DK Cash, Larson, MTJ, Blaney, Busher, McDowell, and Haley. Right now, that's my highest projected lineup. It's just, the thing is, it's a little top heavy with Busher and McDowell, but I think overall it's a solid build. Now, the problem is, though, we're avoiding the chalk like Byron and Austin Cindric, who obviously have very high floors, which for cash games, they're going to pop a bit, but I do like that lineup. It just feels like a tournament build, though, it seems like. Jim says, Chris, I have Elliott, Chastain, Dinger, Busher, McDowell, and Gilliland. It's not bad. I don't have a problem with that, Jim. I mean, all those guys can run well at road courses. Steve says, is it okay to have 4 drivers starting in the top 10 today? I would say so. I mean, it's a road course. I don't think passing is going to be very easy. And track position's big. So, I mean, I'm fine with 4 guys in the top 10. Like, if you wanted to play Chase Elliott, Busher, McDowell, and Ty Gibbs all in the same lineup, that is perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that. And if you look at road courses, I mean, these guys are able to hold position pretty easily. And with no stage breaks and things like that, it just makes it to where it just avoids the chaos or guys staying out and then they work their way back up. We saw Kyle Larson, victim of that last year. So I definitely love that there's no more stage breaks. It makes it a lot better for DFS, I think. Zach says, I'll be playing Reddick, Truex, Dinger, Suarez, and McDowell in my private FanDuel group. I like that. I mean, you can build some crazy lineups on FanDuel today. Like, some really crazy ones. Like, let me pull up their website. Like, just to do a quick build here. If you want to play Elliott and Larson together, we can still roll in, like, a Martin Truex Jr., a Ryan Blaney, and we still have money for a guy like Ty Gibbs. So, I mean, you can play Larson, Elliott, Truex, Blaney, and Ty Gibbs on the same build over there. So, definitely a fun week. I did not watch that. It's just, if it's not NASCAR related, I have a tough time watching the racing. Like, I love watching racing, but it's really just like NASCAR for me. I don't really like anything else. Although I know they had the Garage 56 thing going on, and I saw some clips, and I think Jimmy Johnson did the last stint, I believe. But no, I didn't really watch it. I just saw some clips on Twitter and stuff. Awesome, James. Appreciate that. Yeah, we had a good week for cash last week with that one build I think we were all talking about, the Logano. Oh, what was it? Logano, Hamlin, Bush. I forget the rest, but it did well if you guys did play that. Alex says, without stage breaks, I don't see the floor the typical place differential guys offer. Makes a tough build. I want to load in the top 20 guys. Yeah, I'm right with you there, Alex. Like, you know, the stage breaks help bunch those guys back up and then getting a couple spots in the restart. But it's going to be tough. I mean, they're going to move their way up a little bit, but I'm just not sure it's going to be enough to make it to where it's worth playing them at their ownerships. You know? Larson or Reddick last in? I will roll with Larson there. Dave Palma says, the anti-Chris lineup, Lally, Keselowski, Amarola, Priest, Hamlin, Logano. It's pretty close to the most anti-Chris lineup you can make today, for sure. If that's optimal, I will see you in 2 weeks. That'll be rough. Jim says, last one, Chris, Suarez, Dinger, Truex, Harvick, McDowell, and Haley. It's not bad. I mean, I like every single driver you mentioned, so I don't have a problem with it. Sarah, Larson, Dinger, Truex, Blaney, Haley, Austin Dillon, or Blaney Burton, Elliott Larson, Trix Dillon. Well, I think I still like the first one a little bit better. Just a little bit. But I did catch up to the chat, so if there's no more questions, I guess I'll get out of here. But if you have any last second questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I think it's a fun week. Be cautious of being too chalky. Also, be careful of place differential. Like, it's appealing, yes, but if this goes green, it's just not going to be that easy for these guys starting in the very back to make their way up as quickly as you might like it. You as well, James. Enjoy your day, and thanks for your videos. No problem. No problem. Thank you for stopping by. 6,200 left. Who would you like last in? Austin Dillon for me would be my favorite of that bunch. All right. I think we're out of here. If you guys can leave me a like on the way out, I would appreciate that. Wish you all the best of luck in all your contests today, guys. And yeah, have a great rest of your weekend. And last question here, dom or differential. I would focus on finishing position for the most part. I don't really focus on dominators too much or place differential. All right, best of luck, and I'll see you guys not next week, but in 2 weeks.